It's a BumbleKast Mini, sponsored by Chaos Sonic 1.
Say if the egg bosses from Archie were transported to the game universe, how would they react to this new change?
I think Eggman himself would be kind of surprised to have all these lieutenants now, but hey, if he has indentured servants that are forced to serve him, why not? And most of them would be kind of resigned to their fate. It's like, well, we're just right here, back in the mix of things. Just get back into the swing of it, because their Eggman really isn't that different than modern Eggman. And, I mean, Thunderbolt would just be delighted to continue to be employed by the greatest genius that ever lived.
Of course. Makes sense to me. With the Sonic Forces Overclocked mod coming, what if Neo Metal was released when he was supposed to be during Forces?
Now, I don't know what this mod is in particular, but
it seems to be it is a story-based mod that takes place after the events of Sonic Forces, so it's a continuation, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Not going back and filling in the blanks. Bold choice. With Neo Metal popping out, if it was during the events of Forces, it would just be another general commanding the forces. It'd be kind of interesting to see him running counter to Infinite, actually being physically present and needing direct orders from Eggman, not just being a phantom construct by Infinite. And maybe Infinite is a little intimidated by someone who is quite literally edgier than he is in a polygonal sense, and might drive Infinite to be even more showboaty, even more aggressive, because he doesn't want to be shown up by this robot. Maybe even makes a phantom copy to make him look bad, prompting Neo Metal to maybe make sure this Infinite guy falls off a cliff.
Easy enough for me. Neo Metal would just usurp him and take over and just be Neo Metal, and that's fine.
Unless he takes the Phantom Ruby and then he's Phantom Neo Metal.
Oh, okay.
Yo, Neo Metal with like a sick black and red color scheme.
We dump the chump and give the Phantom Ruby to someone who deserves it. Heck yeah, buddy. I am down. How would Scourge Team Sonic Racing go, and how would the anti-version of Dodonpa be? It's Team Scourge Racing.
Anti-Dodonpa would just be like Henry Ford.
Oh, no.
Like, he wouldn't give a car to Tails or the Chow. He'd put them in the factory making them.
I mean, he employed adults, too. Yeah. Oof.
So
big oof.
I mean, Dodonpa would not be inviting people to test out his engines that are powered by the true superpower of teamwork, or whatever the gimmick was. I don't remember off the top of my head. would basically be tricking them into being guinea pigs for his experimental, highly dangerous new vehicles.
That's right.
Oh, you didn't explode. Wonderful. I'll mark that down. Let's see. Everyone involved to some degree or another is like, hey, free vehicles that are overpowered and allow us to just like stomp on anyone we want. Cool. Yeah, all right, I'll take the keys. No questions asked.
Of course.
Don't know why everyone would necessarily be all together.
Well, they're forced to be.
Like the terms of the race are you have to have a team of 3. So Scourge is like, all right, Miles and Onux, I hate you to the least out of everybody else. I guess you can come. Sparkles is like, oh boy, I hope we get to run somebody off the road. Buns is there in the Omega unit just trying to keep the peace. She's like a spy for Kintobor, making sure everything runs well enough. Kintobor himself is there trying to unearth what Dodonpa's actually up to. Are these engines like carbon neutral? I need to make sure that they run properly. Is this race bad for the environment? Begs the question what anti-Chow would be. Are they just like obnoxious babies? The babies that scream all flight
They're just
on
gremlins.
purpose. Little gremlins.
Yeah, just frightening little things, or just maybe the death spawn from Shadow.
And then I guess like ultimately they fall for Dodonpa's trap, and he's going to try to have them race eternally to give him data or life force sucked straight out of the car or something. And so they race for their own freedom and destroy all his plans. Not because they're heroes, just because nobody's going to keep them down.
Pretty much. No one else is going to take over when Scourge is around. Next one, how would a Scourge Labyrinth go? It wouldn't go because it's not canon no more.
No, it's back on the menu. Or at least the Prime version. You know what I mean.
See what you've done, Ian?
This actually works fairly easily. Kintobor manages to sneak a couple of slow-down boots onto Scourge in the hopes that it will curb his violent tendencies. Maybe a little bit of forced humility will change his perspective. And no. Scourge is going to methodically tear this labyrinth apart bit by bit just to show you, old man.
Why doesn't he just take them off?
They're like shackled to his feet.
Oh,
they're super science shoes.
Okay. Silly. Funny, but silly. All right. What would the New York City Bosscades Mage and the Grim versions of Tangle, Whisper, and Jewel be like based on what we've seen in Sonic Prime?
I kind of like the idea that Tangle is just uniform throughout them all. Like different outfits, still themed to the world that she's in, but like her personality doesn't change. She is still the spunky, happy-go-lucky adventurer. It's just she's more street smart in New York, and she's really swinging between trees and Boss Cage. And I mean, the Grimm's just kind of there. You don't really get versions of people in the Grimm.
The Grimm. Tangle is the universal constant.
See, I'm not sure how far along the first season is at this point, so I'm going to steer away from the Grimm. I don't want to spoil nothing. But we'll say no place, the world ocean, because that one's safe enough. I mean, swashbuckling Tangle swinging from the mast, shouting me hearties at everything that moves. I mean, absolutely, it fits. It's fine.
It's Tangle on Talk Like a Pirate Day all the time.
Yeah. For Whisper, we'll take a page out of Rusty Rose's book and make her another cyborg in service to the Chaos Council. She's like the Terminator or the Combine Soldiers, this like kind of spooky Terminator individual who's hunting down rebels in the city streets with her cycling weapon. Boss Cage, kind of a mythical figure, someone who's very remote, lives by herself within the canopy. And do we have the wisps for this? Or could we do something different, like she harvests special elemental fruits out of this crazy jungle and uses them for variable attacks? Maybe just to spice it up a little. Just so we're not having, alternate realities of all the wisps too. And then for No Place, she's on the same crew as Tangle and Jewel and is like always in the crow's nest. She is their navigator.
Okay.
But she won't actually like yell out any observations, so she has to slide down the rigging to murmur directions each time. Highly impractical, but she sees everything like 300 meters away, so it's all right. And for Jewel, Jewel works the system. Like she's some kind of office person in New York who does everything exactly by the book as the Chaos Council demands, everything neat and tidy, very orderly, totally in step with their evil regime, except she knows every loophole, and oops, that file got lost. Looks like you keep your home after all. oh no, that bus of prisoners got instead released out into the wild, so they're perfectly fine. Totally games the system.
Yeah, she undermines it from the inside.
Boss Cage, she's a self-proclaimed botanist who's trying to catalog every single bit of flora and fauna in this sprawling world jungle, and she has made it exactly 1 hectare since she started, and her notebook is already overflowing.
Uh-oh.
And then she's captain of the ship in no place.
As she should be.
Because nobody else is going to steer the thing properly.
Well, no. Definitely not Tangle. God, no.
I mean, Tangle, she allowed Tangle to do it once, but it became a matter of, oh, what's that over there? No, Tangle, stay on course.
No.
Oh, an iceberg, let's get closer. No, Tangle. That sandbar looks pretty. I'm taking the wheel now.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm captain now. And forever. All right. The same questions as above, but with a version of the Babylon Rogues.
You know what? Keep them largely intact as well, because I could see them being cyberpunky, Blade Runnery, illegal street racers in New York.
Yeah.
Thieves that are expert acrobats in Boskage, and maybe they have some kind of special hoverboards there, or it seems like that's a cop-out. Yeah, we'll just stick with acrobats pulling the Tarzan thing. They're able to grind along tree branches and grab vines and swoop in and out as if they were riding the air. And for no place, they're pirates. Come on.
It's literally almost in the name.
Yeah, like,
and they have an airship.
Make their pirate ship themed after the blimp, and then they startle everyone by surfing between boats to raid them.
Yeah. It writes itself. It's kind of brilliant. It's very simple translation. I like it. All right. When it comes to video games, what games do you always go back to de-stress?
That's my secret, Cap. I can stress over everything.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But no, seriously, I do not find games relaxing, whether it's because they are actually challenging or because I set my own criteria and it's like, I have to achieve this. I am not performing optimally. I don't relax.
I mean, at this point, I go back to the classic Sonic games because I find them just, like, I've played them so many times. It's just almost second nature to me. Like, I don't even really have to think about it too much. So those are always some good comfort food gaming. Otherwise, geez, I'm trying to think. Like, the only problem with games like Truck Simulator, because, they're mostly very chill. You're just driving around. But the problem with them is that it just takes some setup. Like, if I want to play it properly, because I don't have like a permanent steering wheel setup, so I got to constantly just set that up every time I want to play, and it's like it's just effort. So.
But, like, it would take away from the experience to play with a keyboard and a mouse.
Yes, it would. Yes, it does.
It would ruin the immersion.
Yeah, same with a controller. So
yeah,
but I play a lot of racing games with a controller. But
that's a little different.
Yeah,
like Truck Simulator is not my thing, but even I can tell you right there, you need the proper setup to really enjoy it.
Yeah. Jeez, trying to think what have I been playing recently? I don't know. I actually find a lot of certain racing games more relaxing, but it just kind of depends. Sometimes they're pretty chill. Other times they're, racing games. It's kind of funny like that. The Forza Horizon games are actually pretty, I don't know, they seem pretty lax, They're mostly open world, so you're just kind of driving around, chilling out, listening to music. But, yeah, stuff like that. Other than Sonic, when it comes to other video games, what are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Something fun.
Because there hasn't Yeah,
Usually.
there hasn't really been a lot that isn't like a franchise that I already know. It's like, I want to have the next iteration of thing. Part of that is just I haven't had the time to like research or be properly marketed to. But I guess the last thing I did, I played on a whim, was I picked up Dredge because Jacksepticeye was playing through it. And it had a charming art style. It had a very satisfying, simple gameplay loop. And it had just enough of the spooky to give it a little bit of spice without putting me off. Because I have an extremely low threshold for the spooky.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just enough to be fun. It's like, ooh, this is a little unnerving. This makes me want to perform better and not, nope, scary, nope, turn it off, done. Like, there were no jump scares. It was just kind of that atmospheric thing, and you kind of brought it upon yourself. So, and, you know, the core gameplay loop of go out to sea, play simple but satisfying mini games to catch fish, and then do the Resident Evil 4 briefcase Tetris game to fit everything in your hold. Cash in, get more space, do more fish, put things away, back and forth. It was really satisfying. Nice pace to it, nice everything. It's a good game. Cheap too. Go grab it.
Cool. I like action games. I mean, like good old something to really just get the heart pumping is fun, or something funny. It's always a good time. But I mean, at this point, I'm just like, I just want a game that's a decent game that functions. And I think sometimes that's too much to ask for these days. I don't know. I'm not too picky at this point, but I play a lot of old games, so maybe there's something to do with that. I don't know.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Little Kitty Big City.
I have not heard of this.
You play as an adorable little black cat, and you just do cat things. Like, there are objectives, but that's not the point. The point is you're a cat. Jump in boxes, knock things off counters, climb on things that you shouldn't climb on. It's a cuter version of Stray when you get down to it, and I loved that one too. So
I like it.
And that was just, pure endorphin. It's, oh, cute kitty, play kitty, brainworms. They tell me kitty good.
I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy for platformers and for like arcade style games. Like, if I can play it in like 5 minutes per level, I'm good. Like, just keep things moving, I don't need to sit here and plod through just slog through a plodding, sprawling game. Just keep things moving. Keep it going. That's what I want. So,
maybe that's why I'm enjoying Genshin Impact so much, is because it gives you the big epic RPG scope, but it's bite-sized.
Right.
Like, the events are spaced out over days, so you can't just marathon them unless you wait till like the very end. But, you can pick it up, you can play a bit, what fits in your schedule, and then put it down.
Almost like it's a mobile game. Convenient.
It has that, you can go whole hog on it, or you can keep it concise, and that's very good for my incredibly variable schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy a good arcade game. You just, plop a few quarters, fake or real, into something, play it for a little bit, and then you're done. Sounds good to me. I'm a simple man with simple needs. All right, here's another question. What are your thoughts on the Spark the Electric Jester series? I feel like we have talked about this before. I have not played it, so...
Neither have I, but it's inspired by Sonic, right?
Yes.
It was like one of those...
It's inspired by 3D Sonic, although... No, the original is a platformer, more in the line of, like, the advanced games, actually, it looks like.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and now let's see what the second one is. The second one's the 3D one that looks more like the adventure games. Okay. But yeah, it's very, very Sonic. So, I mean, I would be down to play them. I just have not, actually. For some reason, I think I mentioned this last time too, but I thought they were like not real games. I thought it was just something people were making up. That's not to disparage the series or anything. I just didn't realize that they were real games. I thought they were just like somebody. I thought it was just like a meme. But no, they're real. They're real, and they look great. Not gonna lie, not gonna tell you they don't look great, but yeah, I've not played them, so I'll get to them eventually, maybe someday. While I know you don't know Kamen Rider, there's a sort of theme to it. One of them is the Cross of Fire. It is Kamen Rider emerge to fight back against evil. Their powers always end up coming from those they fight. Now, who would you say best represents that in Sonic, be it from Archie Games or IDW or Fleetway?
I'm not sure I follow.
Let's see.
Yeah, let me look up what Cross of Fire is.
I'm sure there's a few in the chat who know something, a thing or two.
According to something or other, the embodiment of the power of the Kamen Riders and the monsters that they face is symbolizing by a burning cross representing the sign of their sin and the being creations of evil. That still doesn't clarify this.
Rye is telling me that I think they mean the enemy of the show usually has a hand in the writer's empowerment.
As in, the villain does something stupid and Kamen Rider gets that power boost off it? Or is it like Ghost Rider's penance stare where it's the sin of the villain that empowers the move?
The first writer was turned into the writer by the villains.
Huh.
So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing, I guess. Or like making your own...
Engineers of their own...
Engineering your own demise, yeah.
Well, if we're going by that understanding, it's Shadow.
Yeah.
Like Black Doom custom ordered somebody to gather the Chaos Emeralds and be his herald to Earth, and Shadow's like, LOL, I kill you all.
Shadow would say that, wouldn't he? He would just say LOL.
Shadow, you will be my herald. No, I'll be the cause of your genocide. Bye, Dad. You're such a bad son.
You're so cringe. I'm not cringe, you're cringe. The enemy accidentally creates the hero that takes them down. Yeah, okay. Yep, that's pretty much what you said, yeah.
Be nice if the wiki put it so succinctly, but whatever.
Yeah, well, you know. There's nothing succinct when it comes to fandom, Ian. You should know this by now. I mean, the website and the concept in general. All right. Since Sega is keen on making games canon or not, will we ever get a book of the Sonic timeline like with Zelda, or is that wishful thinking? Knowing Smiles will be acceptable also as an answer.
Oh, I wish I could Knowing Smile that one. I want it, and there is a known demand for it. It's just getting the right people to talk to the right people and for things to be approved and for other things to fall into place. I don't foresee it happening anytime soon, but I wouldn't say it's impossible.
I'm kind of surprised you want it, actually. Set this stuff in stone? Like, what, then what?
Then finally I may rest. I may enter the Odin sleep and ascend to Valhalla.
And you will never rest. It will never be over. It will never end. I'm sorry, but it's true. Since Sonic Prime is out, will it get under the same treatment as Sonic Frontiers when it fully finishes on that? I don't know. What does that mean exactly? Like, will it be considered canon? Is that what you mean?
I mean, it already is. Or, like, will it be referenced like so much was in Frontiers? That I can't really comment on because, Prime isn't done. And once it's done, then there will be greater context of how it affects the greater canon.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we got one last one. Sage versus Adam. And yes, Cyberspace and Super Adam are allowed. And yes, Eggman will root for the favorite child, aka Sage.
I mean, Sage right there. She has Daddy's love. Adam does not.
Yeah, it's okay. Adam doesn't deserve it. Sage wins.
I mean, while Sage and Adam are battling in the realms of cyberspace, Eggman is writing up code to delete Adam in the background. Doesn't matter what Adam can do or how many forces he marshals to his side. He's up against Eggman and Sage. He's going to lose.
Oh.
He's going to lose, and he's going to lose knowing that he wasn't wanted.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right. I think that's it.
Yep. Thank you to Chaos Sonic 1 for sponsoring this BumbleKast Mini. If you want one of your own, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care, everybody.